symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
Good job, guys. Back with you one more time. Nitro, Nick sitting right over there. Slopester sitting right over here. War Games, Survivor Series, Chicago, Illinois. They say it's the greatest building in the business for a reason. The Rosemont Horizon, Allstate Arena, whatever it's called nowadays. It's always going to be the Horizon to me, Nick. They sold this sucker out the day it went on sale. This is before, a couple of months, I believe, before Mr. Phil Brooks left AEW. They put a few more seats on sale. A couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, they opened up the entire building. No stage. They opened up what normally is the stage, which is like 2,000, 2,500 more tickets, like 17 grand, something like that. I thought they'd be disappointed. They were not. This show was disappointing. But as they sign off, and they've done this kind of before, they've never done it this well before, Nick.
That was perfect.
Dude, Michael Cole says, "Thanks for joining us. See you next time."
The thing comes up in the bottom of the screen.
As I've told you about, they call that, the copyright in the bottom corner. Now, they've done it before, and then they wait, and they wait, and
but
they
it's
wait.
fading, Ryan, and all the faces are just standing there with their hands up.
And then all of a sudden, you hear Mr. Phil Brooks's Chicago-made Chick Magnet Punks music.
You got it.
And he does nothing but come out. That's all he had to do.
I wouldn't have done anything. Yep, perfect.
I tweeted out as this happened, I go, after a trash bag garbage show, and I'll be the first to admit it, anybody watching this knows, I don't like CM Punk. It made me smile. I actually smiled and went, well, crap. They caught me off guard there. I was very excited about it. Nick, your thoughts on how they did it?
Thank God they did it first, right? Though you were right. What a trash bag pay-per-view, man. I mean,
I wonder if they called in the middle of the show, "Hey, Phil, you live like 5 minutes from here, right? Can you?"
Well,
but
he
$5
said,
million. $5 million to lose to Roman. Just get here.
Oh my God. He did say lightning in a bottle, right? That Triple H at the press conference, though. Although I don't know how much I buy that, man, because they had been dropping the CM Punk hints with Shinsuke doing the go to sleep.
It's been talked about.
Someone talked about being the best in the world. They had someone tweeted something out earlier. Was it yesterday or today? I can't remember the exact wrestler that did. But it was one of Punk's quotes that was tweeted out. So I don't know how lightning in a bottle this was, but boy, oh boy. And again, I'm the same as you, Ryan. Not the biggest fan. Heard me previously on this show when he left AEW, basically saying I didn't think there was a prayer he'd be in WWE anytime soon.
Right, you did say that, yeah.
And
we didn't know. I mean, how are you going to know?
But this is why you never say never, though. I did say that. I mean, and Triple H is right. Love him, hate him, negative, positive. This guy brings word of mouth. This guy brings controversy. This guy brings eyeballs. Now, how long will they stay? Let's hold on and see on that. But, I mean, it opens up a variety of new matches we've never seen. I think WrestleMania Night 2 main event is now open as opposed to kind of Cody was penciled in. Not saying he's not. Don't want to upset anybody who may think Finish the Story is the bigger story here. But I do think WWE, if this guy comes in, his merch starts outselling Cody. He starts outselling LA Knight. Maybe they pull the plug.
He's gonna outsell LA Knight. And
he will,
God bless the guy, but come on.
Right. He will, and he especially will right now. But I'm saying is he still the top merch seller come January, February, March, and he may be, Ryan. He does have, the song is appropriate for him.
Sure. That's
to
why he
me,
uses
in
it.
the idea of his fans are a cult.
Yeah.
They are behind him. Very similar, although not as large as the Swifties, the Beehive, but
And
they
because
are
of his personality.
Yes.
It's his. Those two, I don't hate Beyonce. I don't hate Taylor Swift. I hate their fans.
Yeah, their
but
fans
I don't
can
hate
get annoying.
them. I'm just kind of indifferent to them. This guy, there's reason. It's his personality. But
It is.
Nick, let's talk about what you just said. A couple of things there. You talked about Shinsuke. You talked about Punk has been doing it too. If you're an Instagram follower or follower of the news, you have seen that he's been talking. Even I think today, it was either late last night or today, he put out like a remix of Cult of Personality. We're like, is he just taking jabs or is he just like messing with people? What's he doing here? Obviously, Triple H, what you mentioned afterward, Triple H was at the podium immediately after this, said a bunch of other stuff. The first thing he said was, let's talk about the big return tonight. R-Truth is back, guys. And with pretty funny,
Yeah, I did see
and
that.
we know they love him. Anyway, at the end, he didn't even say anything. He was like, hey, I know you want to ask me about it. Open forum, ask. And you said it. The guy said, love him or hate him, he is a conversation starter.
Yeah.
Take whatever people want to say. He said, it's tough to look at the past, but if our fans want it, then let's go. We will figure out the rest from there. So Triple H said, we'll figure out the rest from there. And we had heard, there was disputing things, which once again, somebody in WWE has figured out how to play the internet. And I don't know who and when it was, but everything we heard all week and today was, don't expect it. Don't expect it. Everybody who we've heard was told it wasn't going to happen. But we did hear earlier in the week kind of that quote right there. Like, Triple H is down. They got to convince Vince, but is Vince really still in control? What are we doing? Triple H then went on to say, a lot of time has passed. This is a quote, by the way. A lot of time has passed 10 years ago. If you're the same as you were 10 years ago, then you've messed up. We are all starting on the same ground. So this guy is just, it sounds to me like he's all about business. Now, I would think, like
how many
in
times
AEW,
have we heard this, Ryan?
I was going to say, this guy's probably on a short leash. And if he does anything that's...
Ryan, when? It's not an if.
Well, I agree with it
right
but
now.
Guess what, Nick? It's not your and my money.
Right? No, 100%.
You know what your and my money is? If we decide to go to WrestleMania to see him fight Roman Reigns, then it is our money.
Oh, and then if he's as reliable as 1992 Axl Rose. I mean, this guy is, this guy could no.
But
show
Axl Rose
WrestleMania.
has sold out a lot of concerts since
yes,
then.
He has.
Oh, right.
And he still is today.
Go.
So
now it didn't take 10 years. It took about 2025.
Right. But that's the one thing I mean, you can say that all you want. Triple H can say it. I know he doesn't believe this guy. We know who CM Punk is.
I think he does believe it because look at who his friends are. No, hold on. Look at who his friends are. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, 1-2-3 Kid. The other one who I can't think of for some reason. Oh, yeah, Shawn Michaels, maybe the worst one out of all of them.
And Ryan, again, true, but those guys took a long time to change too. Some of them took almost till they died to change. And
some of them have died, but yeah,
I'm a fan.
Sean has.
Sean, again, though, it took him till what, like 03 or something to complete
02, but it really wasn't that long. It was less than CM Punk.
It was, but again, that's what I'm saying, right? I don't know. This guy, he does all this, but I mean, right? He just made the biggest show in AEW's history.
And
the
it was
company's
all about
history.
his BS.
Nobody was talking about that show the day after.
Right.
Not a match on that show.
Look at what we're talking about right now.
Nobody's talking about the Survivor Series right now. Who wrestled? Who cares? You know, this is what this guy can do.
Yeah.
And he does it very well. Make everything about CM Punk. Now, if he can transition that.
Which is good, except for when it's bad.
Right. That's what if he can transition that into elevating other stars and doing stuff like that, that's amazing. That is great. That's what I would love to see him do.
Here's the thing, Nick. Here's the thing. If I'm WWE, and we don't know, and they're never going to tell us, they're not going to come out and say, oh, here's the because it's not Major League Baseball. It's not like they're not going to tell us the terms of his deal. But if I am Triple H, I would say, look, pal, we want to bring you in, but we did have trouble with you. Me personally had trouble with you. All right. Well, let's put it in the past because we're all about making money. This is the same place that brought back the Ultimate Warrior and Superstar Billy Graham and Hulk Hogan and Brett. Go down the list. We brought back all these other people. But here's the deal. You just had another issue 2 months ago, right? Like literally 2 months ago. Tony Khan says he feared for his life. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened, but he says he feared for his life, right? So here's the deal. We have to put it A, B, C, D, E into your contract. If any of these happen, you're terminated immediately. If they don't, well, then God bless you. Here's $5 million or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying, though. Like,
I get
if this happens, that happens, this happens, you are gone. And these are the terms of your contract. And the thing is, though, Nick, but the thing is, I agree with you. But you know what? They sold out this building without him already.
It's
and
worth
look
it.
at this card. This card was terrible.
It's worth it, Ryan. I'm just telling you.
It is worth it.
You writing down A, B, C, D is basically A, B, C, D of reasons how Punk can get out of this.
And then you put 1205, 1210, 1215. You just put a number next to it.
You've just basically said, whenever you become unhappy, here's a list of things that can get you out of the WWE. You know, like, again, I hope Ryan, I want to be wrong. I want this to be one of the greatest things, but
what they're smarter at than Tony Khan was, a lot of us do think he tried to get fired. So if you do this, I do. I'm one of zero. You get paid zero, and at some point, you may have to pay back the contract.
That would be. I mean,
now
that
that's
would be
the
smart.
way to do it. Now,
because
we
the
don't
one thing
know,
he does,
I'm making crap up.
Right.
Who knows if that's real?
Ryan,
but I do know. I do know about PSC's personal service contract because that's all I've ever signed my entire life. I know how that crap works for the most part. I wouldn't be surprised if they put, stuff in there. Look at what happens to people in the NBA who have had drug problems or whatever. That stuff is written into your deal.
And Ryan, if there's one thing we know, Punk does care about the cash. Has come up in lawsuits.
At some point, you need money.
You need to. And so, you may be right. You may be right on that. That's what I would do. That sounds, I don't deal with those contracts, but like that, I've never signed anything like that, but.
Okay, let's be done with the logistics of it because we don't know and we're probably never going to know.
We're guessing. No.
How about what you think the way they did it? Obviously, it's Chicago. I hate how he always has to come out in Chicago. I get it and everything. His name is Chicago Made Punk, I guess. What do you think about the way they did it? To me, I quit thinking about it, to be honest with you. So the way they did it was very well done. But the thought of him being here, him being back, and the way they did it, what do you think? And then if you want to keep going, the heck does this guy do here for the next couple of weeks, months, year?
The way they did it, I'm with you. I thought was great. Because again, we said I was second, so I was standing up in my room.
I quit paying attention until I heard the
I was just kind of. I'm like, God, I'm at this point, I'm waiting for maybe Orton to drop an RKO on someone,
Me too.
like,
he was way
just
too happy of a
because,
finish,
the
wasn't it?
pay-per-view and the pay-per-view was so bad that nothing happened. Something had to happen here.
Orton came in and just straight up jobbed that team. I mean, they didn't get another move in once Orton got in the ring. So I was like, this is too happy. Then another very happy thing happened. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I thought the way they went out was awesome. The thing, like you said, the credits came on the screen. Cole made it sound like they were leaving. He didn't really say anything. As far as being in Chicago, I think they know, and I think everybody's come to know, you're just going to get the most amazing pop when this guy comes out. You do kind of pin yourself in a corner, though, because he's got to be a face. Like, I don't think
in Chicago.
I even think once they bring him out Monday, like, this is one of those things when they brought Seth back, when they brought Becky back, people want to cheer this guy right now.
That's true.
It's gonna be hard. I'm not saying he can't pull it off.
And they might not be cheering because they like him. They're cheering kind of like the NWO showing up for Sting at WrestleMania 31. You and I would have popped initially because we would have been like, NWO's here. And then we're like, wait a minute, this makes no sense. But that initial pop, because there were reports, and I've seen videos, Nick, last night, people were chanting and they booed immediately. Like it was 50-50. People started chanting CM Punk, CM Punk.
He's very polarizing. He's very polarizing.
In Chicago, though.
And they got the cheer they wanted. And I don't know. I just think it sets him up pretty good. I don't know where he goes from this. All these names are new. I like how they came in because it felt Monday Night War-ish. Like the last time, like Cody Rhodes coming in, this is how it used to feel so much, with a guy.
We talked about it every week.
It was so cool. Like, and we took things for granted. You were like, oh, Jeff Jarrett. That doesn't happen anymore. Like, even with the Jeff Jarretts or the Rick Rudes or the mid-card guys.
But it was only mid-card guys for the most part.
Right.
This is Cody Rhodes and CM Punk.
Yep. And I think
pretty big.
Yeah, two huge guys. And we haven't seen Cody Rhodes, CM Punk. We haven't seen CM Punk,
Seth
Randy.
Rollins.
I'm sorry, Seth Rollins. If we have it was a long time ago. Not this Seth Rollins.
It didn't matter, right?
We haven't seen him with Roman Reigns.
That's
CM
what
Punk,
I want.
That's a big match. CM Punk, LA Knight.
Anybody.
There's a bunch of matches that can
go down the
here.
list of main dudes in WWE. You've not seen CM Punk fight
Bobby Lashley. And the dude can be face or heel. However they want to roll with him. I think he's a much better heel. But I mean, his cult fans,
people are gonna like him regardless.
He's kind of what you said, flared. Where he has his group that, like, I told you, he could run a baby over in a Hummer, and they're not gonna freaking.
He could run him over on a tricycle, and they would cheer for him.
They're gonna.
Okay, so give me from now to Rumble, and then Rumble to Mania. Top of your head, maybe not what you think. What you, Nick Hortz, as a booker, you're Triple H today, what would you do?
Main event at Rumble, I want Roman Reigns, Randy Orton.
No, for Punk. We'll get into the rest.
Okay, because I was going to say, for Punk, I wouldn't come in as like, I know you want, but I wouldn't come in and go right away Cody Rhodes or right away. So I wouldn't give away the farm yet. You've got time. I mean, maybe you could do a mid-card guy versus CM Punk, someone that's a little, a jealous.
I wouldn't do like a Darby Allin thing, though. We've seen that.
No,
and it did. To me, it didn't work. Other people did.
I was thinking maybe, someone, I don't know how you do it, but like a, Damian Priest. I mean, the Judgment Day might be upset that he came out. I just don't want him. Drew McIntyre needs to win right now. So I wouldn't put him against Drew because he's just turned heel. He's now lost a big War Games match. He needs to win. I don't like Damian Priest because if he's got unless he takes that case.
And he got pinned today. And he brought his case down for the 4,000th time.
For the fourth. So, I mean, maybe he relieves Damian Priest of that case. Other than that, I'm looking your heels. This is the problem. Your heels are pretty
haven't
weak.
thought of what you just said.
He
could take the case from Damian Priest.
Punk, and when I start to think cash in, I think about three guys: Punk, Edge, Miz. Those are my three cash-in guys, I think, because I think they've had three of the biggest cash-ins. Ziggler was big too, but just never amounted.
Yeah, Ziggler doesn't matter, right?
Like, that's why I think maybe he goes, because I don't see how they're getting the title on Priest with that.
You may have they're not gonna. You may have just done the dark horse idea. Because he came in at the end of this match, Priest will get all butthurt or something. And the problem is the Royal Rumble is 2 months away. It's not like tomorrow. It's literally 60 days away. Maybe you get a Priest Punk and somehow Punk wins that title. Then he goes against Seth and we have the Seth thing that's been a big thing. By the way, CM Punk chant started last night after they went off the air, and Seth stood in the corner and looked around and told the crowd they were idiots. We know what he said in shoot interviews before, or he goes the other way and we get the Roman. And I could see that happening.
Does he just John Cena and say, I'm going to cash in me and you
at
main event WrestleMania?
I would. I would.
And then I guess Cody,
because that way he could do what he's always. I came here for one reason. I've been on record saying I should have always WrestleMania or main evented WrestleMania. I'm calling my own shot.
That's perfect right there. After he wins the case, he calls that statement.
And he says right then, I'm here to main event.
I am cashing this in so you can either book me in that match or I'm coming out after the match is over and ruining your final.
He can fight Seth, and that's the main event of night one.
He could.
There's a way to do it. I've not thought of that. You may have just called a shot. Because that way he doesn't beat a guy immediately. He doesn't get in a feud that he doesn't need to be in immediately. That gives Judgment Day something else to do. Because they're done now, right? I mean,
they lost this match. I mean, what do you do?
They suck as it is. The main event of Survivor Series had Dominic Mysterio and another guy that I still don't know his name. JD, I still don't know that guy's name.
The dude can wrestle, but he's like as big as Darby Allin. So I mean,
come on, man. That guy stinks. Yeah. And you got Finn Balor in the group. You got Rhea's the leader of that group. I mean, they're done. There's nothing for them to do. No. That gives them something to do, and it makes them important. Why? Because they're in the ring with Punk.
And I think it can lead to a breakup of them. They've been together long enough. And you're already seeing that the vie for power within the group between Priest and Ripley. That would give And then if Punk took the case, that could be the dividing.
And then he doesn't have to win the Rumble either, which you would think would be obvious or something, which a lot of people, myself included, was like, no, it's too obvious to bring him back in Chicago, bring him back in at the Rumble. So that kind of solves all those problems. That's my dark horse. I like that. See. And now that you say that, my dark horse may be the number one idea.
Let's see. I mean, I just don't know what Cody himself and his fans might be a little upset about.
Well, then Cody fights Roman night 2. I mean, Cody wins the Rumble again.
So you could do Rollins versus Punk night 1, and then Cody versus Roman, and then
reverse. I mean, either way.
I just don't know that. My only issue is I don't know that Cody fans are going to accept him winning the Rollins belt.
No. I don't think he does.
Okay.
I think Punk goes after Rollins. Personally, I would like him to go after Roman because the real life animosity there. I mean, that's real. So to me, the reason I came back, was to finish my business.
Yeah, I mean,
to me, that's the better story. But I bet you he goes after Rollins.
Yeah, I don't know that they want. Yeah, because I also don't know that he. And this is just Punk. I don't think he wants. If he main events WrestleMania, I think he's going to want to win and go over as the champ. I mean, I'm just thinking CM Punk in his mindset.
But
he's
at
got
some point, you would think the money talks,
and
we know he's a mofo.
Yeah.
He may just want to shove it into AEW any way he can.
And he's got a kind of, and I don't mean, you can take this what it may be, a Bret Hart kind of mindset of how wins and losses matter.
Yeah, it's real life.
And they mean a lot more to certain guys. I mean, Scott Hall switched up a match to let Jericho win in the middle of the match on a Monday Nitro when he was still Lionheart Chris Jericho, because he's like, I don't care. I don't need the win. You need the win,
That
kid.
guy does.
Yeah, and kudos to him, but I don't think Punk's that kind of guy that would just do that. But I think wins and losses matter. He wants to win the belt, wants to main event WrestleMania. And they may.
I think he's going to be either way. I think
he's in one of the nights.
One of the nights.
He is right now. If he is still employed in the WWE by WrestleMania, which again is also an if.
Well, Nick, and I think that's another thing. I think he signed a contract.
Yeah.
And because of what happened before, I think he signed a contract written in the contract, especially if they made him sign, if you do A, B, C, D, E, you're fired. I think part of that contract, he then said, okay, well then in the contract, I'm guaranteed to be in the main event of WrestleMania.
Ryan,
I don't think he came back if it weren't
I
for
think
that.
You're right. They said, I mean, we're talking on the contract a lot and we have no clue, but they said Cody Rhodes was a pretty intense contract when he signed his. That's Triple H's words. This may be, if we're right, the most specific contract ever signed from both sides of the party about what both sides want as far as, I mean, I would love to see it. I mean, I would love to, we could do a 2-hour podcast probably on that contract.
Barry Bloom,
alone.
Call us up. We would like to know how it works. All right, so on to this show, Nick.
Rest of the show.
I'll be honest. We have said this, and let's do this again. There has been numerous shows this year that on paper, you and I were like, Well, then they turned out to be fairly good shows.
Yeah.
I think maybe there's been one stinker all year, and I can't even remember which one it is. This one, I went in thinking I don't give one crap about any match here.
Any of them.
And I'm not going to say the matches were bad.
I will.
But I didn't care about any of them by the end. So thank God CM Punk gave us something to talk about.
Yes.
Without CM Punk, your thoughts on the overall show. What do you think of the night?
Without CM Punk, I think this pay-per-view is the worst since COVID.
Wow.
For WWE.
Really?
Yes. Ryan,
definitely this year. Definitely.
Ryan, you look at this pay-per-view right off the bat. I wrote these guys down. No Roman Reigns, no LA Knight, Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa, Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, Austin Theory, Sheamus, Street Profits, Grayson Wallers, the women's tag team champions, Jade Cargill. None of them are on this PLE. That is a lot of
saying
talent.
Something. You just named everybody.
A talent. And for the what's left of the talent on the men's side is condensed into one match. The rest of I don't care about any of the other guys. So I was really bummed out going into this, thinking this is going to be terrible. And as the show went on, you're like, something has to happen,
right?
Because these are just matches.
Well, you wondered and I want to get back to that in 1 second. But just to what you said, they kind of started out of nowhere, this running thing throughout the show. Well, is Randy Orton really going to be here? Is he really going to be here? So I was are they doing that because they know there's no juice behind this match? So I wondered about that. But I want to go back to all the dudes you just said, and we know why WWE got hot. I mean, it's twofold. I'll give Cody his credit. Him coming over was big, but it's been the bloodline. Love him, hate him, whatever. Do we think it's old now? Yeah, we do. Do we want it to be done? Yes, we do. Or a new chapter or something. But the reason why they've been selling shows, and this one, as we said, they didn't sell out because of CM Punk. No, they sold out because it's the Survivor Series. It's in Chicago. And you figured, well, it's one of the big five. Good job by Michael Cole. Immediately, he said this is the second longest running PLE in WWE pay-per-view. So they built that right away. I like that. But I think when people bought this, they were like, all right, maybe The Rock's going to show up, because they did that last year, if you remember. Everybody was told, hey, The Rock's going to be here. And then he wasn't. So, or they thought something with Roman. This will build to WrestleMania. And maybe that ended up happening. But I think they sold this before CM Punk. And they're selling all these shows, 10,000+, no matter where they go, because Roman is so hot, because they've got a few hot angles. This, I mean, what are we winning by winning War Games?
I wrote that down, Ryan.
That's why I don't like the War. Ryan, what are you winning?
It's unreal, man. Like these War Game matches where I wrote this stuff down. This is the stories we're getting in the women's match. Charlotte and Becky, can they coexist? I don't care. Will Damage Control turn on Bayley or break up? Okay. And yes. I wrote what you said. What are they fighting for? Why are these other ladies? I get Damage Control is aligned. Why are the other
what
ladies,
are they fighting for?
What do you win?
They have the champion already who has no character, no gimmick, no nothing.
And Ryan, though, but this match, though, I didn't feel like
girls' match. Let's go. There were some great spots, but
here's the problem: the spots were great, but they were so staged getting to them. Like it took forever. The ones, especially where they jumped off the cage. How do 4 to 6 people just stand there for 30 seconds? Like
that's
just
AEW stuff.
It is.
They stand there and wait for the guy to hit the move.
And also, so a lot of the hot spots or high spots were. They hit them, but they seem really staged to me, and it took away from that. And the other, apparently at War Games, it's War Games. Choose your weapon as you enter. Why are we having War Games? I thought the cage was dangerous enough. Why does everybody need to bring in?
No, it's WrestleMania, dude.
It is.
This is what the Attitude Era did to wrestling.
And people wonder why we
have
didn't
to bring in. Someone literally is going to nuke somebody soon enough.
Right.
Because there's nothing else to do.
What's the point of War Games? Like that itself should be enough to sell the match. You don't need to bring in kendo sticks, chains.
I thought the cage was the single worst thing you could do.
Right. That's the seller. If you want to have like a no rules match or a TLC, you book that match. You don't combine them all inside War Games.
Can I interrupt you again?
Yeah.
I saw numerous dirt sheet writers, Brian Alvarez in particular, but numerous. I remember him because I find it funny. People that love all these weapons matches, love all these anything goes matches, love all these nuke matches. And he said, it's hilarious how we're doing a War Games match and anything goes and people are getting hit with this and this and this and this, but they want tables.
Right.
Well, you taught them to like tables, not him in particular, but you've taught them to like tables. But once again, it just shows you no one cares about what the weapon is. They just want to see mass destruction.
Right.
And that's what War Games was supposed to be. The freaking name of the match is War Games. Hey, do you understand what happens during war?
It's stuff like that, Ryan.
Like, people don't come home.
Yeah. And they do it just the opposite. Like Kyrie was skipping to the ring. Your team is down a number. Like,
what are you doing?
I don't understand that. The match to me wasn't great. I mean, like I said, if you like big moves, they hit a few of them. They look staged, but so much stuff seems stage or fake to me in this. The faces end up winning the match. It looks like we're going to have a heel turn, or they're going to eventually turn on Bayley.
Sure. I thought that was pretty obvious like a week ago, but yeah, right. I said the same thing you did. I'm like, War Games was supposed to be the most dangerous match ever now because it's whatever 90s, 2000s, 2020s wrestling. We need every single person. It was like Mortal Kombat. Choose your own weapon when you get in. Well, apparently choose your own weapon wasn't good enough because once Kairi Sane got up on the top of the cage, or excuse me, Io, which, by the way, one of like the 3 NXT matches I've ever seen in my life was a War Games match. She was in, and I saw her jump off the cage. Can't remember exactly, but I feel like I remember her jumping off the cage with a trash can.
They did.
Why a trash can over top of you hurts worse, I'm not quite sure.
I don't either.
But here's the other thing. And our boy Jim Valley, I actually responded to something he said about this. They do that spot before everyone was in the ring. With a trash can blind over her head. Why then should I give 1 ounce of one crap when Charlotte Flair jumps off
the top? You did too much.
I just saw some other girl jump with a trash can. What do I care what you're doing?
Yep.
I don't care if you jump forward or backwards. It hurts the same. You're coming from the same distance. It's moves for the sake of doing moves.
Yep.
And I tweeted it and I wrote to him. I go, wrestling sucks now because they have turned it into moves for the sake of doing moves. That didn't make sense. It would make more sense. It would still not make sense, but it would make more sense if Charlotte did it first, then Io comes with the trash can. You did it backwards,
Ryan.
It just was terrible.
Ryan, all I'll say is
terrible to me. Made no sense.
The number one saying in that, and you can look it up. Nobody else better go into the pool. I'm not going into the pool. You're talking
about Nitro at spring break.
I'm talking about Scott Hall, the man who knows or knew this industry as good as anybody else. If I'm going into the pool, nobody else is going into that pool because it takes away from me going into the pool.
Dude, Damage Control. I care about the the faces. Damage Control just needs to go. It's awful.
And the problem is Damage Control is the biggest feud in the match. What's going to happen with them? There's no feud. The other girl,
just wait until we get to Judgment Day.
Oh, well, on the next match, I was going to say, dude, I'll cover it quick. Santos Escobar.
I wasn't even going to get to there yet. I was going to say we were brought to you by Ruffles. And then we had a Ruffles promo in the back.
And Slim Jim hard in this, and I love seeing the Macho Man.
I mean, keep making the money, but then we had a Ruffles promo. But no, continue. I'm sorry.
Ryan,
we actually had an IC title match before the one you're about to get to.
Oh, I'm sorry. We did. All right. You want to go to the other one?
Get to that one. Go ahead. Gunther, Miz. You like the Miz, so go ahead.
The Miz. I did this match, though. The problem I had with this match, dude, I'm liking the Miz and what he's doing. The dude doesn't win. So why am I going to think this guy is going to end Gunther's streak? And what would be the point of Ryan? Cole calls out the Miz's 500, and Cole made the Miz look really bad in this match. He called out the 592 days as Miz had as an 8-time champ. That Gunther's almost past his complete 8th reigns trying to make Gunther look good. I think that makes the Miz look bad when you mention that.
It makes me just think he already got lucky. He's not going to get lucky again.
That he was like a negative 8,000 chance to win in Vegas. That sounds terrible. They mentioned that Gunther calls the Miz Mike. I mean,
Right.
they literally, and when you're doing all this, the Miz has to win, or the character has to win. When you're smashing him down so much,
And then he
verbally,
loses.
and then he loses. He just
Everything's
looks,
right.
but again,
No, I agree.
I'll let that one go. We don't need to waste time. The Miz was never going to end this guy's streak. He's not the guy to do it.
I don't know who the guy is, to be honest.
I don't either.
And no, the only thing I said is they did the skull crushing finale, and to the crowd's credit, they acted like he was actually going to win. And I'm
Ryan,
just like,
I wrote on,
you've ruined false finishes. Like,
I wrote
there was
on here,
no way he was going to win.
Yep. I wrote on here that it was so unlikely. I didn't even believe it when that happened.
No.
That was your proverbial super kick into the pedigree to the Undertaker moment that they wanted to recreate there in that match,
which we've already talked about.
We've seen it, and you knew the Miz wasn't. There was
he
no
wasn't
way in
winning
hell
that match.
The Miz was. This card was stacked with the individual matches. Not stacked, but these
the
individual
Miz
matches.
Is older than we are.
You knew who was winning each one of these individual matches.
Yeah.
They were so obvious who has to win.
Right.
Gunther wins.
Speaking of,
streak continues.
Speaking of, Santos Escobar against Dragon Lee.
Oh,
we heard previously that they were going to do an injury angle and Dragon was going to come in. To their credit, they are, I think, going to do something with Dragon Lee. I don't know what it is. It's interesting to me, though, because they have been doing vignettes for the guy. They did have him step up in Ray's place and all that, but he can't be Santos. Santos just turned heel on Ray. So to me, I'm just sitting here and going, wow, these first three matches might be the first three
worst
that I have given zero rip about on a WWE pay-per-view in a very long time. I'm on my phone. I didn't watch this match at all. Like, there was one spot I did see where Santos was hung up in the ropes, but then he was holding himself up by the top rope. Like his leg was caught, but he held himself so he was up in the air.
On this page,
and I go, let go.
Right.
He can't kick you if you let go. And he stood there and continued to hold on and let the guy kick him. And I'm like, I'm done. I don't.
This match, these guys are not
awful.
over.
It was awful.
If you just read their names, Santos Escobar versus Dragon Lee, I think I'm watching Dynamite. I mean, because I have no idea who these two guys are. They haven't been built.
There was zero build to it whatsoever.
Right.
What's hilarious to me is why on earth 20 years later are you doing anything with Carlito to begin with?
I don't know either.
Who gives a rip? Nobody cared about Carlito in 2008. What are we doing?
I wrote this match was the definition of an I don't care match at all match.
Yeah, it was
like
brutal.
This was just on the card.
The next one might have been worse.
Yeah, this is Snookeroo. I mean,
no, at least those two guys are names.
I guess that's true.
At least they did something in the territories.
Yeah, that's true.
Zoe Stark against Rhea Ripley.
Oh, that's terrible.
Zoe comes out, first of all, and this is not Rhea's fault at all. And we've been tough against Rhea in the past, but we have also said she's had
over.
A great year.
She's over. She's definitely
obviously over.
She's getting my vote for Woman of the Year.
I don't think it's close. Yeah, I don't think it's close. And she has had a great year, but there's nobody for her to fight.
No, she's very similar to,
on a throwaway pay-per-view.
She's similar
like
to Gunther in that matter. Like her title reign has been long, but you know what?
But they say to Zoe's running out. All of a sudden, she has face paint on for no reason, and they say, "quote Zoe has a big future. She's fighting for the title." I'm like, all right, well. 15 seconds later, Michael Cole says, this would be a major upset. Wait a minute. You just told me
Cole had some,
that I should care about this. Now you're telling me the crowd is booing Zoe from the get-go, which tells you how over
they're behind the heel.
Become.
Yes, they're behind the heel on the faction that gets booed out of the building every night.
Yeah, and again, this is when I go, they keep selling out SmackDown. They got over 10,000 in every major city, and Roman is not in these cities a lot of time.
Right.
They better watch it, because now they did it on a pay-per-view. And if they keep selling out all these shows and their best people aren't there, that's WCW style. These people are going to get pissed, and next time they go, the fans aren't going to either.
Right.
Until they find out, oh, Roman's going to be there. Okay, I'm going to buy my ticket. Or whoever, Cody, name it.
Nobody wants to watch Heat and Thunder.
They better quit, because I'm not spending.
Yeah.
And you and I were going to go to Royal Rumble here in a few weeks. Tickets are like $300 to sit in the upper deck. I did that for SummerSlam already. I paid more for my SummerSlam seats than I did WrestleMania, and they're in the upper deck.
And we're not even talking hotel or
all of
Uber
it, all of it,
transportation to and from, food,
everything. I looked up WrestleMania seats, the same exact seats for both nights. I paid $325 for both nights in Los Angeles. Those same tickets were $900 and up for this year in Philly. I'm not going.
No.
Let alone when I know Roman's not going to be there, or whoever.
Ryan, it would be hard to pay that for Hogan Savage in '89, dude, much less what we got today. That's an insane amount. Yeah.
So they continue this Orton won't be there. They go backstage.
Well, I was going to say, before you go backstage,
fighting.
I was going to say that there was a bot. Did you see the choke slam off the top that almost Zoe Starks flipped too much?
No, I quit watching.
Rhea was going to choke slam her off the top rope. Starks jumped heavily into the choke slam. Could have went real wrong. They didn't even show the replay of that.
Yeah, I quit watching.
But again, no one's behind her. Good luck to Ripley. Just the women's division I think it's packed with talent, but it's lacking stories and character building heavily.
They're all lost. They're all lost.
And we've seen them fight each other. So I don't know what to do with the big ducks. Yeah, most of them.
Cargill. Well, you're Becky. Becky's cold as could be. Becky's as cold as could be, and Charlotte's as cold as could be.
Becky hasn't been this cold.
Bianca has something, but she's cold currently. I mean, they're all just kind of sitting around.
Yep.
So we get to the boys. I just immediately was like, what are we fighting for? Again, War Games was made for a reason. Back in the day, it was to bring down the Four Horsemen. And then later, much later, the NWO. And now it's just a match. What are we fighting for? What's going to happen here?
Where people
once again, you got 4 more jobbers in the ring in Judgment Day. I don't want these dudes on my television for an hour. Now you're putting them in an hour-long match. I don't want to see it.
Okay,
I just don't care.
Me neither. You're not
then Rhea brings the briefcase down in the middle of the match. This wouldn't matter if we hadn't seen this spot by every Money in the Bank person 50 times. And we've already seen Priest do it, where he hands in the case, then he doesn't. They did that right before Randy Orton came down. Orton comes down, looks great, he's jacked. Yeah, you knew he was gonna. But then they just jobbed Judgment Day after that. They literally jobbed
murdered.
Jobber Day.
He did it
Jobber
again.
Day. They should be tag teaming with us, dude.
He did it again, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing. No one's talking about the pay-per-view. It's CM Punk. This is why you bring this guy in. No, Ryan, does anybody even this is going to be one of the most
I don't know if that's his fault today.
No, it's not.
But
it's good.
They didn't give anybody else any reason to talk about this.
No, it's a great thing today, because if we were just sitting here talking about this pay-per-view, Ryan, A, we would have been done an hour ago. B, we would be super upset and bored and wasted a night of.
Well, I still am, because I don't care. But
there was college football on. There was hockey on.
Hey,
Michigan won. They beat the Buckeyes. Hey, congratulations.
Cheaters never prosper, big fella. Just remember that.
I think Jesse Ventura, win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat.
We ain't cheating anymore. So,
but yeah, no, but
I don't know if our conference is worth a crap. But anyway,
well,
we
we'll
won
see
again.
in the play CFP, man. But I don't know, Ryan. It was a very bad. I would say like a 2 out of 10 pay-per-view.
It sucked.
It was awful. Like I said, I think it's the worst.
I was not interested in a single match.
Not one.
And even the ones like you mentioned something, I'm like, I must have missed it. I must have been looking at my phone.
I really think they should push Roman Orton because we haven't seen
Rumble.
that one at Rumble. I think that's big
Get
enough
it
to
out of the way before
Rumble.
he fails.
He would. I don't know if he will fail.
I agree with that.
He's going to go back into Randy Orton. Who he is. Who he is. Probably doesn't need a title if he does
You'll get sick of him quick.
Yeah.
So get this out of the way in 2 months, and then let him go do whatever.
Yes.
And obviously his boy has been fired, so we're not going to see the feud there anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would like to see Orton Roman and I think that would draw interest. Okay, so we've said that. We've talked about Punk. Anything else you want to mention? Because they announced tonight there is no pay-per-view until the Rumble. 2 months.
We have quite a long time, and that's gonna. I assume we're gonna get some decent moments or matches on Raw. It's gonna be interesting. I think Punk is going to be on both shows because I think right now he's hot. He's eyeballs.
Maybe he's a free agent, and that's how they play it.
Because they've got the 2 GMs who are in charge of signing the guys. Now that could be something they do just to buy some time. They're both vying for Punk.
And again, you tell the guy, "Do you want to work, pal?"
Yeah.
Well, you're working.
Yeah.
And that's how they do it. Sign me.
And that was a lot.
There's the other one, Jade Cargill, we still have not seen.
Right.
And she's a free agent. So maybe they do that with
my money is on her to win the Women's Royal Rumble.
I hope she does, just so it's something.
Yeah, I think she's going to come in.
But Triple H said tonight, to no fault of her own, she's not ready. Now, I don't know if he's taking a shot on purpose, but that tells you.
That sounds to me that's basically saying
she's not
whoever
ready.
Trained you did a bad job. It's not your fault.
Which is Cody Rhodes, but
it's I mean, that's what
AEW.
I mean, that kind of was a shot from my standpoint. I don't, maybe not. I don't know.
But it's also true.
I am still, as bad as this pay-per-view was, Ryan, I'm looking forward to Monday night.
Love or hate, you got something to look forward to.
There's no love or hate. I do not like this guy. I mean, I'm not gonna. I think he's a cancer, and it's only a matter of time before it spreads. But can you?
I'm gonna inject.
Yeah, boys. Can you make money though while he's there? Can you squeeze out some good matches and some good stories?
Just how much can you make before the poison affects?
Kyrie Irving has a ring, Ryan. He does.
And I would say he's less of a cancer than
maybe
Mr. Phillip.
I mean, and that's what you're doing. And I just hope he has, this contract is so ironclad that we keep on the straight and narrow and we get a great 6 months, a year, 2 years, or whatever he has signed. Because there's certainly, with Orton and him back, there are matches and guys that have come up since the two of them have left the WWE that we haven't seen. And I'm looking forward to if they can do good stories.
Outside of the finish, they came out of nowhere and had nothing to do with anything. Mr. Nick Hort says a 2 out of 10. And he loves the Survivor Series. Is he a complete idiot? Or is he right on? Let us know in the comments. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Job, guys. Ow.
Pleasure's all yours, Bucky boys.